Okay, so Munchies. This is the bit where I review the actual film. I have watched the film. I do not know where the extra 10 minutes are. I've watched the uncut version because I'm not going to watch it twice. So, for those of you who haven't had the beauty of Munchies, or it's been so long since you've seen this film, it is one of the cheapest mistoned films that you just can't look away from. While ostensibly it's about Paul, aspiring teenager who wants to be a stand-up comedian, but his father doesn't support him. His father doesn't support him in his idea of going to LA, and that's fine. That's a fairly typical trope thing. The reason his father doesn't support him is because he feels that Paul should be spending his time doing something more substantive, something more mature, and helping him prove that aliens exist. Given that, they find an ancient cave in which they find the first of these creatures. This creature itself multiplies under different circumstances. Very, very gremlins. You know, they take it back to their home. Someone steals the creature for their own profit and cuts it up. Those bits then become other creatures, and they're meaner for some reason. So you've gone from Gizmo to Gremlins automatically. The town itself is not Kingston Falls. It's falling between a bizarre Disneyland that's dilapidated, or some picturesque Texan state. We see a town that's basically full of characters, but with no character. They are all so one note. The sheriff is an idiot. The sheriff's son is his deputy and is also an idiot. The rival, almost the equivalent, the Bizarro Paul, given that his dad's brother, his uncle's son, is an idiot. All seem to be running around trying to find these munchies as they escape and cause various forms of mayhem, while actually having nothing to do. Yeah, what are you going to do when you catch them? Yeah, let's just catch them. No, what have you done here? Yeah. The munchies themselves have absolutely... The best humor about them is the fact that they have the worst animatronics ever. I think there are scenes where, obviously, I'm surprised you don't see the hand as it throws a munchie from one end of the side of the camera to the other. You have some Corman classic moments. They steal a car, so you have a real lo-fi death race involving shotgun nanas, chicks in the beach apparel, and bikers. And you know they're bikers because they go, ugh. That's it. I mean, they are on bikes, the definition of biker, but they're not bikers. But they are bikers because they go, ugh, getting driven off the side of a road. As the mayhem ensues, it doesn't really go anywhere. But I've got to say, I was fascinated on a couple of things. One, just how poorly toned this is. Suddenly the munchies are talking to each other, and they talk like this, and it's kind of ghetto speak. But it's bad ghetto speak. Rudy, where you been, man? Oh, look, there's babes. There's no internal logic to it, and it's charmless. It's absolutely charmless. Except for, really, the bravado just suddenly makes you go. So I suppose there's a shock jock as I say that. They don't seem to have any real motivation, but then again, people don't either. I strongly suspect one of the key parts of this 10 minutes is that I don't recall the stepson being killed. In this version, he's outright killed. He's taken away to a morgue. While he's been taken to a morgue, his father-in-law, who we know is a bad guy, but his mother, who adopted him, is just going, oh yeah, it's sad that he's dead. Anyway, let's go open our golf course. Complete lack of trauma. And it's the only explicit death within the film. Yeah, it has absolutely no weight whatsoever. So it's like, oh, you know what? He doesn't have a job. He's not going to university. He's not studying. So therefore, just boom. The moments which do stick, though, are the ones where you go, but why is this moment here? There's a moment where we cut to a Burger King, burger joint, whatever. Everyone there is a dwarf except for the manager. Now the manager's a prick, but everyone else is a dwarf. Now there's this bizarre moment to me in 2022 because there is obviously a scene for novelty at that time. However, there is no reference verbally to the fact that we are watching a lot of shorter people, except for the manager being rude. And even then, he doesn't mention their height in any way. He walks off and they start having a conversation with each other, just a very dry one, about why their manager just lacks humanitarian communication skills. Now, there's one level where you go, this is just, the joke is, ha ha ha, you've just seen some dwarves, you're expecting something funny to happen, but they're having a dry conversation. Ha ha ha, though, we've come for the spectacle because it's 1987. And you've also got that other element of like, you know what? That's the roles that should be happening. That's the roles that should be happening now. I'm sure there are many people of many shapes who like real committed actors who of an unusual physique would really just like to turn up and do the admin extra role and not spend 4 hours in makeup for a genre film. So, like, that stuck. They go to the golf place. Oh, incidentally, there's also just families that don't seem to work. There are some jokes about a nuclear state. Robert Picardo turns up as a militant ice cream seller with his wife and son, Buddy Lolly, who's ready to just shoot them. In many ways, he could have become the Burt Gummer of this franchise if it had continued. There was another film called Munchies, which has nothing to do except for the studio and a similar name. But Munchies 2, really, I could have done. You know what? I think Munchies 2, where he's decided to run an ice cream parlor near the university campus, where the professor goes at the end of the film with like the last munchie, right, and become the Burt Gummer. I'd have been there. I'd have been there because you know what? Of everyone there, Robert Picardo has turned up and goes, "I'm committed. I'm committed. I'm committed to this film on every level." It does work, except as entertainment 90 minutes, it does work. You're watching people go along, yet there are still these weird times where you go, you need to choose a pitch. If you're going to be salacious, be salacious. If you want to be quirky PG film, be a quirky PG film. But the fact that you have someone die, you have them perving, yet you don't have any real sort of like peril, just leaves it as this tonal mismatch. It's just like every gag. The bad guy is Trump. He's 80s Trump. He's got a wig, he's got a fake tan, he's got a golf course, he's got all of these products that are seen to be faulty. This is Trump on every level. There's even points where his wife is holding the Gremlins pictures in order just to say, the Weekly World News. In short, it was very much a debatable purchase, I would say. I've mining the hell out of it because I've bought it. I've now become the importer of choice. It went through customs. You're now no longer able to buy it directly from Amazon. And the £20-30 that I spent on that whim may well be going up to an extra 150, as I now am the UK's leading expert on owning Munchies limited edition cover B media book. The deleted scene totally changes the tone as well. It's a prequel bit. It's where you see how the Munchies were created. Initially in the film, they go into the cave and they find Arnold there, and they find all of this stuff and dead conquistadors. What you see in the original prequel bit is a man praying to the gods, the Spanish conquistadors coming in, stealing all of his shit, and just stabbing him. And it's quite brutal, particularly for the tone of the film. His dying breath, he curses them, summons this creature, which then slashes the throat out of these conquistadors. I was like, gee, what film was that? That was a much darker film. And I get the feeling that there was an argument. I really want to know what happened, because I think Roger Corman said, you need more car chases and girls. And Tina Hersh went, we need more jokes and some story, because girls aren't going to hide this. Worth a punt for fans of the era. Not a must see by any stretch of the imagination for its quirks, but I do think it holds a place amongst Ghoulies and Critters. I would say actually that this is more entertaining than Ghoulies. It's not as strong as Critters. It is no Ghoulies 2. That's what I would say about this film. It's Ghoulies. You got Gremlins. Gremlins will always be the high bar. It's going to be Gremlins. And then you look at those others. This one does definitely. Actually, yeah. I would say it sits above Ghoulies, below Critters. So if you're a particular aficionado for those films, check it out. And it's not like I just bought this film because I have some latent memory of a pubescent time with girls in short skirts playing golf. Charlie Bond is banned from leaving any comments on this thread. Thank you.